Hello, this is Nick from Pathway to Oz, and today I'm going to go through and give you an example of how to calculate your points on the Department of Immigration and Border Protection's points test. So strap in, because this is going to be exciting. Please note, the points test is only really relevant for someone who has a full skills assessment. So if you don't have a full skills assessment in a nominated occupation that is on the Department of Immigration's medium to long-term strategic skills list, the points test might not be too useful for you. By obtaining 60 points, you should then be able to submit what's called an expression of interest, which is the very first step of applying for general skilled migration visas. Let's check it out. So let's look at the points that we would calculate for John. Okay, so John is 30 years old by the time he graduates, so he will fall into this bracket, in which he will get 30 points for his age. If we keep having a look, he's actually from the UK, but surprisingly he also scored superior English in the IELTS test, which is 8.888 overall, reading, speaking, listening, which is amazing. Overseas employment, you'll find that he can't, score anything because it's only counted for, you can only claim points for experience after you've reached the required education level, so you can't count that. However, in Australia, on the graduate visa, after he obtained his Certificate 3 in carpentry, he could actually claim, 1 year's of experience, which he used for the Job Ready program. So he gets 5 points for that. Moving on, previously in the UK, he only graduated from secondary school. He had, no qualifications, worked as a bricklayer, but didn't have the qualifications. But he's still going to receive 10 points for the Australian trade qualification. He did study in Australia for 2 years, studying carpentry. So he will be able to claim 5 points on there. And then looking down, look, he didn't do a master's degree, doesn't have an accreditation in community language. He didn't study in a regional area. His partner's got no skills. In fact, he's not even married. And he also has not done a professional year in Australia. So let's look at the points he's got. So he's got 5 points for a trade qualification. 10 points for studying in Australia, 10 points for the trade qualification, 5 points for studying in Australia, 15 points, 5 points for work experience in Australia, that's 20 points, 20 points for superior English, that's 40 points, and 30 points as well for his age, so that's 70 points, which, if your job's on the medium to long-term strategic skills list and you submit an expression of interest, would have a very good chance of receiving an invitation. Alright guys, so now we're going to calculate the points for Denise. So, Denise actually studied automotive mechanical. Way to go, Denise. She's 37 years old, from Germany, has proficient English, undertook the Job Ready program, obtained a full skills assessment. Alright, so let's go. So, Denise is 37. So she's only getting 25 points for her age. Coming down, she's obtained proficient English. So that's 7.777 in IELTS, or, the equivalent of one of the other relevant English tests. Guys, if you're looking for, I wouldn't say slightly easier, but a lot of our clients have found that the Pearson or the PTE English test, they've been able to achieve higher marks than IELTS. So if you're really struggling, maybe give it a go. Another important thing about the English test is if you really want to, try and get high points on it, guys, you've got to practice. Even if you're from the UK, from, New Zealand, or from wherever, so many clients, will undertake the IELTS test or the Pearson test or whatever it is and not obtain the marks that they thought they would. Guys, it's because you haven't practiced. Get a tutor, even if it's for only a couple of sessions, just so you're familiar with the tests and, the process of it, and it's going to work wonders. So going down to skilled employment, no employment outside of Australia. However, she has worked in Oz for at least 1 year after her qualification. So she's going to get 5 points there. Now, Denise, before she came over and studied automotive, she actually had a bachelor degree in business. And it turns out this bachelor degree in business is recognised in Australia of a recognised standard. So, she's getting points there. Way to go. 15 points. She's also studied in Australia for at least 2 years to meet the Australian studying requirement at the required standard. So 5 points there. She didn't study a master's degree, unfortunately, so no points there. Didn't do a community language course. Did not study in a regional area, although this is a way to gain more points. She's unmarried, so no partner skills and no professional year. So keep in mind, if she was lacking the points, she may be able to apply for state nomination or regional state sponsorship to get the additional 5 or 10 points. Okay, so let's calculate her points. So we've got 5 points for studying in Australia, 15 points for a bachelor degree. So that is 20 points. 5 points for her experience in Australia after her qualification, 25. We'll come on up. 10 points for proficient English, that's 35. And there you go, 25 points for her age. All totaled, that is 60 points, which does allow her to submit an expression of interest for general skilled migration. If you are interested in finding a course in Australia that may give you the opportunity to progress to a permanent visa, or if you are interested in finding out your visa options in Australia, please feel free to contact Pathway to Oz on the website, Facebook, or by phoning 0755 327 000. At Pathway to Oz, we will set you on the best pathway to achieving your migration and education goals.